Florida election supervisor guilty of rigging election for Wasserman Schultz. They found it all, by Kara Curry for rwnofficial.com. In what is an ironic twist of events, it has come to light the election supervisor in Florida's second most populous county broke state and federal law by unlawfully destroying ballots cast in Debbie Wasserman Schultz's 2016 Democratic primary. This is according to a recent ruling by a judge in a case brought by the Congresswoman's challenger who wanted to check for voting irregularities. The ruling states the Broward County Supervisor of Elections Office violated state and federal laws by destroying ballots from a 2016 congressional race too soon, and while the ballots were the subject of a lawsuit against the office. The ruling does allow Wasserman Schultz's challenger, Tim Canova, to have the attorney fees he has paid to be reimbursed by the elections office. Really, that's thrilling. Leonard Collins, his attorney, said those costs exceed $200,000 already. Yeah, they don't care. They wanted to win the election. This leaves Florida taxpayers, oh, isn't that precious? Florida taxpayers on the hook for Wasserman Schultz and her unethical behavior yet again. Oh, so they don't even have to pay out of pocket. Isn't that nice? This recent ruling stems from Canova's bid to unseat Wasserman Schultz in the primary race for the Democratic seat. Canova lost the race by roughly 57% to 43%, or 28,800 votes to 21,907 votes. Canova has also gotten the state of Florida to take interest in the case, and as a result, the governor's office states that it plans to start election monitoring will be so the citizens of Broward County can have the efficient, properly run election they deserve. Yeah, a little too late now, right? According to the Sun-Sentinel, Canova, who was checking for voting irregularities in the race, sought to look at the paper ballots in March of 2017 and took election supervisor Brenda Snipes to court 3 months later when her office hadn't fulfilled his request. Snipes approved the destruction of the ballots in December, signing a certification that said no court cases involving the ballots were pending. Snipes called the action a mistake during the testimony. Yeah, right. She gave in the case, saying the boxes were mislabeled and there was nothing on my part that was intentional about destroying the contested ballots. How convenient. When I sign folders filled with information, Snipes said in her testimony, later adding, I trust my staff. They have the responsibility of giving me information that's correct. Yeah, sure. Circuit Judge Rag Singhal ruled Friday that Snipes wrongly destroyed public records because, one, the elections office is required to maintain the ballots in federal elections for 22 months, while Snipes destroyed the ballots after 12 months, which is the retention period for state elections. The ballots were the subject of a pending lawsuit, so it would take a court order from the judge in the case to allow their destruction. Snipes has not presented any evidence refuting that the public records sought were destroyed while this case was pending before this court, Singhal said. Snipes will appeal the decision, said her attorney, Bernadette Norris Weeks. We think the judge is wrong, Norris Weeks said. Yeah, right, again. You see what's going on with these Democrats? The elections office never refused to provide access to the ballot, she said. Yeah, but they didn't produce it and they destroyed it in the process. Doesn't that tell you something? Aren't those red flags? Instead, it rejected a request by Canova to use outside equipment to scan the ballots. So right there, you know, she didn't want them scanned by outside equipment, Norris Weeks said. Also, it didn't receive a partial payment to cover the cost of the public records request until days before the suit was filed, and the scanned copies of the ballots it can currently provide are accurate and inherently reliable, she said. It was a mistake destroying the original ballots, but the ballots were preserved. Norris Weeks said they were scanned shortly after the election. It is not currently known if the judge's ruling in civil court will lead to charges being filed in criminal court against Snipes. A spokeswoman for Broward State Attorney Michael Satz stated a decision has not yet been made, but that their office was in the process of obtaining a copy of the judge's order and looking into it. No, they're not going to get charged. This is all going to be thrown out the window. It is not currently known exactly what sort of monitoring system will be implemented in the coming months in an effort to ensure election integrity, but Norris Weeks states that she sees this as an effort by Republican state leaders to get some control over the heavily Democratic county. Really? Canova, who currently works as a professor at Nova Southeastern University, is calling for Snipes to be fired as she failed in one of her most important duties, as well as violating the trust of citizens of Broward County and the state of Florida. He states that given the ruling and the circumstances, I think dismissal is an appropriate remedy. The judge's ruling in the case cited previous legal precedents that held dismissal was an appropriate sanction for failing to preserve evidence, even though the destruction of evidence may have resulted from negligence rather than an attempt to obstruct justice. Collins stated of Canova and the events that transpired, he was absolutely stonewalled by the Supervisor of Elections. When they were required to provide the records to us, they destroyed them. Canova announced in April that he plans to leave the Democratic Party, but also fully intends to challenge Wasserman Schultz to a rematch in November as a candidate with no party affiliation. I don't understand all the corruption always by the DNC. Always by the DNC. I say, you know, when there's an election, get somebody in there to video cameras on them 24/7. Only then are we going to get a fair election with these Democrats. You know, these people are so used to running rampant that they think they are above the law, and they have an arrogance about them also, which is disturbing. So now Canova has to wait till next year to go against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Meanwhile, she gets all her cronies in order so she can win again or get somebody else that they want in the office. But as you can see, 200 grand, the taxpayers have to foot the bill for Debbie Wasserman Schultz, telling them, you know what, get rid of this. Yeah, you're going to believe that they accidentally destroyed them? Come on, give me a break. Those things should have been marked, you know, very important, whatever they do. It's disturbing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.